Hey fam, guess what? We're getting ready to do another quick 20-minute meal. I'm gonna cook me some pork and beans. Now, when we were growing up, we used to call them poke and beans. So I'm gonna have me some pork and beans with a little bit of hamburger meat and some fried pork chops tonight. So we getting ready to make that real quickly with some rice. Now there's two kinds of rice. You know, we call this the sticky rice because it's a little sticky when you cook it, or you can get that parboiled rice, which is the quick stuff. That's that restaurant style stuff, but I ain't fooling with that tonight. I'm gonna make me some sticky rice with that, with a little bell pepper and onions and my beans and my meat. So we're gonna go ahead on and get started. So just stay here with me as we go ahead and prepare something quick so that we can get started. We can get our bath and go to sleep tonight. Let's do it. All right, we're gonna get that rice going. Let's put that rice out the way. Get that rice done out the way. Let's slip it right there for right now. We're gonna cook that, clean that rice up some. Get that rice to be right. All that dirty stuff. You don't want no dirty rice. So since I'm not cooking for a lot of people tonight, I don't have to cook a lot of rice, but get the rice going. I got my oil on my stove, and so now I'm gonna get ready to clean my pork chops. Pork chops, you wanna wash them off. I don't want no dirty pork chops, because you know, I don't know those people that cut these pork chops. I don't know if they was using clean gloves, but you ain't gonna give me no dirty meat. So you wanna take your pork chops out of there. Get a nice little bowl to put them in and clean them. Got a nice little bowl, little pretty bowl. Put them in here, rinse them. How dirty those are, that is. So you wanna clean those pork chops out pretty good. So what I wanna do, because it's only 4 pork chops, so what I wanna do, I'm gonna do like, see, tablespoon of salt. Spread that over there. Now on my other things, I wanna do like a half a tablespoon. So a half a tablespoon of seasoning salt. You got to pop the top off it because they don't have a little spouts on there. So half a tablespoon of seasoned salt. I put that back together. Let me move this out my way. I'm done with that. So now I got my garlic. This is my garlic, my onion. Half a tablespoon onion powder. And the same thing with my garlic, half a tablespoon of my garlic. Some of y'all probably wonder what that honey is there for. So that honey is gonna be for my biscuits in the end. And so now I got all my seasoning on there. And what you wanna do, I see a lot of people hand spread, but I just take my pork chops and I mix them. Mix them in a bowl, real good, get them nice and seasoned up. Now, just let that sit a little minute. Let that marinate while I get my biscuits in the oven. So next thing you want to do while I'm waiting on that, get my biscuits in the oven. All right, so tonight I'm going to make some biscuits. I forgot to put this down. But I'm going to make some biscuits also tonight because I think I got a little bit of time where I can put these in. You don't have to tend to these, you know, pretty much just pop these in the oven. I normally put them on like 375. Within maybe about 10, 12 minutes, they're already ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these popped in the oven while I'm getting everything else going. So, but there we go. All right, you want to spray your pan good with some nice butter. That's what I use right here. I use Pam, which is the best. You want to put those biscuits down. I got the oven already warm and ready to go. Since, like I said, I don't have to cook for a lot of people tonight, so I only got a can for 5 people tonight. And pop those in. So now we're getting ready to get. So I got a pound of meat. I don't need a pound of meat because I'm only cooking, as you see, 2 cans of the pork and beans tonight. So you need really about half of this right here for your beans. So I'm gonna just take half of this out right here. I'm gonna go ahead on and get that in the pan and let that start simmering. But while I'm doing that also, I'm gonna go ahead and be cutting my onions and my bell peppers up so they can be ready, because you want to mince them small. Make them small because, you know, if you put too many bell peppers in there or you make them too big, they're going to be overwhelming. And that's all you're going to taste are bell peppers and onions. And I want to taste my pork and beans. So pretty much a handful of meat, half a pound. Let's put it in there. All right, now you can see I got my hamburger meat in the pan. I'm going to take, but this right here, I'm not really measuring. I'm just doing a couple of sprinkles of the onion onion powder, a couple of sprinkles of the garlic, something simple. Throw a little bit of seasoning salt in there, salt. Do a little bit of both of those on there, just a couple of sprinkles. You don't want to put too much. You don't make it overwhelming because you're going to lose your pork bean taste. Just a little bit of salt. That's all you want to do. Now that is getting hot. My rice is done now. My grease is ready. So now I got to go ahead and get my pork chops ready. But my grease is a little too hot right now, so I'm going to take that off the stove and let that cool down some while my hamburger meat get ready. My rice is literally ready, so I'm put that on one, just let that cook on one. And while all that's done, I'm cut up my bell peppers and onions so I can drop that down in the pan too. Okay, I got my bell pepper and I got my onion. So when you do your bell pepper, remember I said you want to do it small. So what I normally do, like just cut it like a little square like that. Cut it like that again. You know, put it in quarters. Then you just want to go ahead and chop it small. You don't want it to be too big because too big going to be too overwhelming power. You're going to have like onion beans, and I'm not trying to cook onion beans because I'm going to add sugar to them. So just do that. And remember, this is a simple meal. It's a simple meal. Don't take much time. If you got kids, you're a single parent, grandma, granddaddy, taking care of kids, you want to make it simple. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with all that. So do that. Same thing with the bell pepper. I'm not going to put that much bell pepper in like I did onion. So I'm just going to put a little piece of bell pepper in there, but I need to clean that out. You know, that out of there. Put that to the side for now. Keep my onions together. Cut that down the middle. I like to see how they do it on those TVs, how those guys be doing that and don't cut themselves. My finger will be off. I got that together, so now you want to take this right here. I'm going to grab it in my hand because I don't feel like picking this board up. Then I got to bring it back. So I'm going to grab what's in my hand. A few that left don't make it over to the pan, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and drop these in the pan. All right, so now you see I got my hamburger meat with onions and bell peppers in there. That's all ready to go. All I'm going to do is open my cans of pork and beans, and I'm going to drop those on top of those. So since I'm using 2 cans of pork and beans, you want to do like a cup and a half of sugar, of white sugar. Cup and a half of it, give it a nice little sweet. It's not too sweet, but just enough. And so you see that meat. Now I want to taste the meat because I always taste. I want to make sure that I got a little flavor on it. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Now let me go ahead and get my pork and beans on top of those and let all that cook in together. Got my 2 cans of pork and beans. Pour those in there. Those are in there. Now I want to put my sugar in there. Remember I told you I got you want to put a cup and a half. So what I got, this is a half a cup. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Now you want to go ahead and stir that up. Get all that cooking together. You want those beans nice and sweet. You see the bell peppers and onions in there. You see it. So now I got all that cooking and that's ready to go. So just let that sit on the stove. On this finish cooking. Now next we're going to start doing our rice is done, our beans are on. Now we're getting ready to start with our pork chops. Now it's time to start our pork chops. So you see our pork chops are already nice and seasoned. They've been soaking, you know, for about 6-7 minutes in that. And so now the battering time comes. So guess what? You know, always keep that bag in my back pocket because you know you're going to need it. So when you be throwing away those Wendy's bags or those public bags, you're going to keep them because they are good for putting meat in it and season it. So put my flour in there. You can put your flour in there how you want to. Okay. Now I want to drop my pork chops in there. Nice. I want to put this bowl away. Now, just shake that up. Shake that up real good. You want to make sure the flour get all around the pork chop. They'll fold up in there on you. So you want to make sure that flour is good in there. Now remember now, we're from the South now. So we are very crafty. Very crafty and very good. Okay, so now we got our pork chops all nice and seasoned. They are coated all the way over with the seasoning already on the bottom of them. Now we want to take them to the fryer. To drop, I love my wok. I got my wok, I believe, from a garage sale somewhere. So I love this wok. And so I'm going to go ahead on and put 2 in there at a time. And you see that grease cooking and popping? Woks cook better than regular pans to me, but I like them because it holds heat better than other pans. So now that those in there, let that go ahead and cook for 2 or 3 minutes before we flip those over. But while we're doing that, now we got to get our biscuits out because the biscuits are ready now. Let's go ahead and get those out, and let's go ahead and get some butter and some honey on top of those. As you can see, I got the biscuits ready. Look at that. That's pretty. But now I'm going to do something. I want to show you something that's really good. Honey, this is like fresh honey that we got. Fresh honey and butter on top of these here are like the best. So let me get my butter out. I'm going to go ahead on and spread my butter across the top of that right there. But before I do that, I'm going to change them to another pan because you see the butter on the bottom of it is kind of like cooked a little bit, turned brown. So I don't want to put that into my, and spray across my biscuits. So give me a second, let me change the pan and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I got my butter out. All you want to do with the butter is I normally want to put like a half a stick of butter in there, only for 5 biscuits. So put a half a stick of butter in there and put that out my way. Then I got my good old honey. And then I want to take my honey, so this won't fit. So this is like a 1/4 a cup. You ain't got to really put a lot in there, but a 1/4 a cup, you know. Even if you put a little bit less than that, that's fine because you know you're not going to get all the honey out of there because it sticks some. But now I got those. Now these are going in the microwave to melt down together. That's good. Hot butter, and I got my honey in there. And then you want to just take that and watch how that goes. And just pour it. I'm almost nervous to do this. And just pour that across the biscuits. Let that soak in. Look how hot that is. No cold foods from this house. Look at that. All over those biscuits, and let that just sit on there. Okay, now we're done with that. Now we can sit this to the side because we got to go ahead now. The only thing we got left is for our pork chops to finish. And bam, we ready. All right, as we see, now we got the pork chops done. Nice, tender. Sit those over there. And now everything is done. The beans are done, the rice is done, the pork chops are done. And now it's time to eat. Let me get my biscuits out. All right, as you can see, we got our pork and beans, small bell peppers and onion in there, rice, pork chops. We got our biscuits, so now I'm getting ready to taste this. And you can also email us at the same channel name at gmail.com. But let me taste that for you and I'll tell you what it's like. Let me see if we nailed this one. That's good. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all not ready.